Checkbox and radio are important input taking aspects of HTML. So what is a checkbox? A checkbox represents an HTML input element with the type checkbox. So like we can access the other input elements, we can access it by using getElementById. And some important attributes of a checkbox are checked and disabled. So the purpose of checkbox is to take various options from the user, in which the user can check it and tell whether this option is what the user wants or not. So let's look at a couple of exercises and see how to use checkboxes in them. So let's start with a simple one. Given the checkboxes, implement get the checked values. So we have been given a set of checkboxes and we want to get the checked values. So here we have a part of HTML, and as you can see, there are 3 checkboxes here. I can check any one of them, and when we click show checked values, we want the checked values to be shown on the console. So how should we do it? So here we have the 3 checkboxes. Their IDs are CB1, CB2, CB3, and there is this button. So let's implement this function. So function show checked. So we will use getElementById. So let me say CB1 is equal to document dot getElementById and CB1. Let's get the other 2 also. So let me just copy that. So CB2 and CB3. Now what are the values? So we can get whether a checkbox is checked or not by using the checked. So we can say console.log CB1, CB1.checked. Similarly, we can do it for CB2 and CB3. Let's run it. So right now none are checked. So we get false for CB1, CB2, CB3. Let me check React. So we get CB2 is true. So React has been checked. If I check all 3, and let me clear the console, we can see all the 3 are checked. So given their IDs, using the checked flag, we can get the status whether they are checked or not. The next part says check or uncheck all. So we'll define a button for that, check all and uncheck all, and disable or enable the checkboxes. So we have these buttons now: check all, uncheck all, disable all and enable all. So check all means all should get checked. Uncheck all means all the checkboxes should get unchecked. Let's implement it. So here we have the function check all that we need to implement. So I can just say function check all. Now what do we need to do in check all? What we will do is we just need to set the checked to true. So I can just say I can get the element document.getElementById dot checked is equal to true, which means it is checked. The same thing I can do for the other 2, and it should now work. Let's test it. So now if I click on check all, we can see all of them are checked. And now if I check on the checked values, show checked values, they're showing all of them as true. Similarly, we can implement uncheck all. So uncheck all will be very similar to this. Uncheck all, and in that case all these values are false. Let's test it. So check all are checked, uncheck all are unchecked, and the values are coming false. We could have also parameterized them by passing a boolean here. So instead of making these as 2 functions, made this a boolean, because they are getting the same values, and that we could have passed as a parameter. So check all, we would have passed the parameter as true, which is the value we want, and in uncheck all we would have passed it a parameter false. Let's test this. So check all we get and uncheck all. Similarly, we now need to implement disable and enable. So I will just use this code and we want disable all. So if I want to disable, I will just set the disabled flag and I will just pass true here. So I want disabled as true. So that's the boolean I have passed, and let's just copy it. This should also help me implement enable all. So enable all will get disabled is false. So that's the value I will pass. Let's test it. So the moment I click disabled all, you can see all these buttons, these checkboxes are disabled and they are now enabled. We could have in our HTML also, we could have implemented disabled and say checked initially. So if I do that, JavaScript would be checked and disabled. If I refresh it, you get JavaScript is checked and disabled. So like we know for the other things, we could have used disabled and checked here also. So what we were able to do was implement check and disable through our code, taking input through a button. Next, what does it say? Define an on-change event handler. So whenever the value of a checkbox changes, we want to define an on-change event handler on it. So to define an on-change event handler, we can just go ahead and write an on-change is equal to, let's say, change CB, and we can pass this. This is the element that will get passed, and I can now add it to all the three. And let's now implement this function. I need the function change CB. So let's implement it. Function change CB, and it gets this, which is an element. So I can first do a console.log lm.id and the event that we get in a event. So we would get that, and we can also, along with that, we can also get the lm.checked status, whether it is moving from checked to unchecked. Let's test it. What do we get? Now when I click on JavaScript, I get CB1, it has been checked true, and I get the event. If I uncheck it, I get CB1, false is now the status, and I get another event. Same for any other one of them. So this way we have been able to detect a change, and now whatever we wanted to do with it, we could have gone ahead and done it. With the element, we get the ID of the element on which this change happened, and we can implement it. Next, what does it say? Define a function that takes an array of string and ID as parameter and returns the HTML to create checkbox for each element of the array. Note that the IDs of the checkboxes will be ID plus index. So if ID was, say, checkbox, then the ID should be checkbox 0, checkbox 1, checkbox 2, depending on their index in the array. So here we have an array and we need to define a function. So let me define a function. It takes two parameters, the ID and an array. The array has strings and we need to generate a checkbox on top of it. So what does a checkbox look like? Input type is equal to checkbox, and then what would it have? It would have the value that we want to show. So let's define arr.map, and within this we also would need the ID is equal to, say, ID1. Function val. Typically we have been using one parameter in this function. If we want to use the index, we can also use it. So if we use two parameters, this second parameter is the index of the element of value in the array when it is being called. So that is a functionality that we get. So now that I get that, I can say let s1 is equal to input type is equal to checkbox. What is ID? ID should be plus ID plus index. So we get the ID we were looking for. And then what do we need to show? We need to show the text. What is the text? It is val. And I will just return S1. Once I return the S1, I will just map it to an array. So const arr1, and I can just return arr1 dot join. Now let's test this function. I forgot to give a function name, make check boxes. So we have this ID div ID new CB. Let's put this there. So I can just say document dot get element by ID new CB dot inner HTML is equal to make checkboxes. Let's give it the ID, let's say XYZ, just so that it's different. And what is the array? CB values 1. So this should work. Let's test it. We get an unexpected string at 11. Checkbox ID. There should be a plus here. Let's test it again. And we have gotten the 3 checkboxes. They are coming in a same row because we did not put a BR. If we wanted them to come in different rows, we could have put a BR here. Let's test it. And we get them like we wanted. So we used here also in the map, we used the second parameter index. And let us now just go to the elements and look at the code. So we get XYZ0 ID, XYZ1 and XYZ2. So whenever you are making it, it's good to go to the HTML, the elements, and look at what the code has been generated. It's always a good practice. Modify the above function to take an array of JSON as parameter. We were taking an array of strings. Now we want to take an array of JSON as parameter. The JSON has the fields text and selected. And selected is a boolean. Those checkboxes whose selected is true will be checked. So we want to pre-check those boxes, those checkboxes whose selected is true. So instead of the earlier array, we now have an array of JSON which has text and selected. And depending upon the selected, we want to show it. So let's make those changes in now this function make checkboxes. So the first change is that instead of showing val, we will show val.text. The second is we need to get checked here. So we can say let check str is an empty string. If val.selected, if this value is true, then check str should be equal to checked. So what does it give us? Either it will be an empty string or checked, and we can just concatenate it here. So we can just say plus check str plus id. So now if it was an empty string, it won't make a difference. If it was selected, we will get this. So in this case, we can see JavaScript and React have true. So those two should be selected. Let's run it. So we get JavaScript and React as true. If I go ahead and check on the elements, so we get checked for JavaScript, checked for React, and not for this. Let's change it. Let me make node as true, this as false. So JavaScript and node. And if I go ahead and check in my div ID, I get JavaScript checked. You get the checked here, not in React, but in node. So we were able to implement it. This is a very, very common way we use it. So we have given an array of JSONs and we can implement a set of checkboxes using it. So we have seen about checkboxes. Let's look at what is a radio. A radio has an HTML input element with type is equal to radio. The interesting feature of radio is that several radio buttons can be grouped in a radio group using the same name. And what that means is that in that radio group, only one of those options can be selected. So unlike in checkbox where each is independent, In the case of radio, we can group them into a group, and within that group, only one element can be selected. Access each radio with get element by ID, or the other way we use is get the collection with get elements by name, and we will see both the cases. And some attributes are checked and disabled. So very similar to checkboxes, checked and disabled attributes are there. So let's look at a couple of use cases and examples. Given the radio buttons, implement get checked value, which value has been checked using get element by ID. So here we have 3 radio buttons, and when we click this button, show checked values, we would want to get this radio button which has been checked or selected. So React or Angular or JavaScript. So if you look at the HTML, we have type is equal to radio. We have specified the name, and you can see that name is the same. Which is why if I can only select one. If I make these names as different, so now the names of all the 3 are different. You can see I can select all of them. So making them the same name is what gives them this radio behavior. There is a value, and we will see about the value, and there is an ID. So these are the structures of a radio. We could have also with this said checked here. If I say checked here and refresh it, you can see Angular has been selected. So one of the values can be checked, and I have set it. I could have put disabled, and that radio button would come as disabled. So React is disabled. So the standard disabled and checked. Now what do we need to do? That when we click this button show checked, we want to show the value of the radio button. So let's say function show checked. So one way is that we go through get element by ID. So I can say let R1 is equal to document dot get element by ID R1. And because we want the value, let me define a variable. Let value is an empty string. I can say if R1 dot checked, then value is equal to R1 dot value. And what will this value be? The value that we have given here. Similarly, I can now do for R2 and R3. Same thing. So R2 dot checked, R2 dot value. R3 dot checked. And note that in a radio, because it's a group, only one would be checked. And I can just say console dot log value. Now initially none of them are checked, so when I click on it, it shows an empty string. Now if I say click React, I get React. If I change it, I get JavaScript. So we went through all the elements, got their get element by ID, checked their checked flag, and based on it got the value. If I change these values here, let's say to React, so the text remains the same because that is getting displayed here. But now if I click on show checked values, it gives me JavaScript 1. So this is the value that we get. Next, what does it say? Get checked value using get elements by name. So we used get element by ID. Now we will do it by get elements by name. So now we need to define this show checked function using, what do we want to use? Get elements by name. So what does get elements by name do? Just like by ID, we get the element that matches that ID. And in the case of ID, we get the first element that matched it, or if it was unique, the single element. In get elements by name, we get a collection of all the elements matching the name. So the name that we have specified, we will get all the elements matching it. So let's write this. So let us say let names let's call it, is equal to document dot get elements by name. And what is the name here? The name is tech. So we will get all these elements. Now we can say for let I is equal to 0, I less than names dot length I plus plus. Before that, what I will do also is just do a console dot log names. Let me do that first and run it so that we see the output of that. Let's test this first. Show checked values. You can see I get a node list. So I get a list of 3 nodes: input R1, input R2, input hash R3. Hash typically stands for ID. So these are the 3 elements. This is not an array, it is an input list, but it supports the length property, which is what we are going to use. Now we can say if names I dot checked. So if names I is checked, which is this ith node that we got is checked, then value is equal to names I dot value. So that should be our value, and we can just do a console dot log value. Let's test it. So value is empty because none of them was selected. If I select React, I get the same thing, the same node list, and I get React 2 and I get JavaScript 1. So if we know the IDs, that is one way we can do it, but the other way is to use get elements by name, and this is a much neater way to do it because we don't need to know how many radios were there, what were their IDs, etc. Next, what does it say? Check a specific radio and disable or enable all. So we have added this button check JavaScript 1. When we click on it, we want to check JavaScript, and then we have the disable all and enable all. Clicking on this should disable all these buttons and radios, and enable all should enable all these radios. Let's implement it. So we have this function check that we need to implement. So function check, it's taking a value as parameter, and that is what we need to check. So we could have said a parameter and a name. So the name, ideally we want the name also, and we could have implemented it like this, name comma value. Now how could we have done that? We could have just gone by our earlier code of show checked. Let me get all the elements, and now if I can check, if I would say here, if name 1 dot value is equal to value, then names I dot checked equal to true. Else names I dot checked equal to false. So the same way I can now set all these values, and this tech here could have been name, the value I got. So the name and the value, and we could have checked it. Let's test it. So now if I click on check JavaScript, I get JavaScript 1, but I did not get it checked. So the problem was this S. These are two different values. Let's make it capital S. Let me now check it again, and now you can see JavaScript has been checked. If I change this value to, instead of JavaScript, to be say React 2 to test it, my React has been checked. So that is one way I could have checked it. The other way I could say is just check and I take the ID. So if I know the ID, so let us say R2. Let me say, instead of defining it like this, let me say check by ID R2. So in that case, we could have just checked it by ID. So we could have just said function check by id, and we could have just said document dot get element by id dot checked equal to true. That should work. Let's check it. So if I now click by check by id, you can see React has been checked. So given the name and the value, we could have done it this way, or given the id, we could have checked it. Next, what is our objective? Disable all. So again, this disable all, we should get the name, which is say tech, or we should get, and we want enable, so we want the disabled flag to be false, so which is what we will call it, and we could call this as the same function like we did earlier. So let us now implement it. So this should be very similar to the check function, so I'll just copy it, and we get the name. We don't want value, we just want to disable all, and we don't want any if condition. You can just say names dot disabled is the boolean value. This should disable all of them. Let's test it, and we can see all of them are disabled, all of them are enabled. Now I can check them, they are disabled. Next, define an on change event handler. So to implement an on change, we will need to add an on change event here. So on change is equal to, let's call it say change radio, this, and this is something we can just go and add to all the radios. Once we add them, we want to implement this function change radio, and it takes the element, and we can just do console.log element dot say name, if you know it, element dot id, element dot value, and the event. Let's test it. So now when I click on JavaScript, I get tech, R1 was the ID, name is tech, JavaScript1, and the event. For React, if I clicked on React, I get the same thing. So with every change, you can see I can get the event. Now depending upon whatever I wanted to do with it, I can set it up and do it. Define a function that takes a name, an array of JSON, and selected values as parameters, and returns the HTML for a radio group. So the name should be the name of that radio group, the array of JSON, and a selected value. The radio with selected value is checked. Note that the JSON have a text and a value. So text is what is shown in the HTML, and value is the value on selection. So here I have an array which has a value and a text, and this is delivery option. Say we wanted between 8 and 11, one delivery option should be selected. Now we want to create a function make radios. What are the three parameters it takes? It takes the name, it takes the array, and it takes the selected value. Now what do we need to return? We need to return the HTML. So let's first use array dot map, and in the map what do we need? We need function, let's call it item, each item in the array. Now what do we need to do? Let's look at how do we define a radio. Input type equal to radio, name is equal to something, then value is equal to something, then we would say checked if it is checked, and then the value, show text. This is the way we need to do it. So let's construct an string to do it. So let's say let s1 equal to input type is equal to radio, name should be, we have been given the name, value we have been given the value. What is the value? It is item dot value, Now checked, we need to create it. So let me create the checked. Let checked str is an empty string. If item dot value is equal to selected value, checked str is equal to checked. So now we can add the plus checked str plus, and we need to show the show text. What is the text? It is item dot txt, and we can return the s1. And let's capture it in the array const arr1. Once we have returned it, once we have gotten the array, we can just return arr1 dot join. Now let's use it here. So we want to put it in this new radius. So I can say document dot get element by id. What is the id? New radius dot inner html is equal to, let's me first make the make radius. So let html is equal to make radius. What are the parameters? Say suppose the name we want is delivery, del radio. Let's call it del radio. What is the array? Radio options. And initially we have not selected any option. So we can just say dot html is equal to html. Let's test it. So I get all the options and I get them in a single line because we did not put a BR. So depending upon our requirements, we could change the HTML as we wanted. Let's now check the code of the div ID. So we get input type is equal to radio, name is del radio, value is equal to slot1. Input type is equal to radio, perfectly fine. This is perfectly fine. Let's, one of them is getting selected. Now if I test it with, say, let me say slot 3 is my slot I want to show it with. Let me refresh. So we get the slot 3 shown, and if I see I get checked 3 in the slot. So given this array, we were able to construct the radio as required.